You are tuned to ARP on the Accelerated Radio Network. It's 12 noon, and it's time to have lunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Bringing money talk you can understand. And now here's your host, Miss Charline.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Charline, and I am host for Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Today in our studio, we have some wonderful ladies, some beautiful ladies, and I'm so excited to have them here with me. First of all, it's Nefertiri. Yes. Your last name is Plessy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and she is the founder of Single Moms Planet. Now, Nefertiri, I want you to introduce our other guests, but before you do, I wanted to find out what made you to decide to start this wonderful organization.
Oh, wow. Well, I decided to start Single Moms Planet. Primarily, my mom raised me as a single mother completely by herself. And I was married for 5 years, got divorced, and we had 2 kids, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, how does she do this? It just felt literally impossible. And so it was a big transition from going to having dad in the home to having dad, 5 minutes away.
Right.
Thank God he was only 5 minutes away. But I was like, how do you do this? I need some support. I don't have anyone to talk to. None of my friends could really relate to me because they were either they were married with kids, or they didn't have any kids and really didn't want any at that time.
Right.
And so my mom's advice was kind of, oh, well, pull your boots up, get over it. But I wasn't ready to get over it. I wanted to cry a little bit longer, and I wanted to sob a little bit in my own pity.
Right.
And she wasn't really going for that. So I had to find some friends who would allow that in a safe environment.
Yes.
And it wasn't like the identity of who I am. It's just where I was at that moment.
Right.
Right. And so I was like, I wonder if any of my other girlfriends who were divorced or who have been through a divorce or who have raised their kids on their own. And I started reaching out to people. And lo and behold, they all had a similar experience to me, is that they felt like they were doing it by themselves. Like, even if dad was there, even if they had a grandma that was helping, or sisters and brothers, they didn't really feel like they could maybe have a conversation that was really authentic about their experience without feeling judged or feeling like something was wrong with them.
Right.
And so I wanted to create a community of really powerful kick-butt women who could see through the wall of, oh, no, I'm okay. I got it together. I'm good. Oh, no, I don't need help with that.
Right.
No, I got it. And hear all the lies that we tell when we're single moms or co-parenting. Right. We need a little bit more help than the average mom. We just do.
You're right.
And it's okay. And a lot of us go through life not asking for help or not accepting it.
Exactly. And I'm so glad you started this. We talked about this on the phone. I'm a single parent also.
Yes.
And so I was fascinated by the fact that you started this group, because you're right. Single moms need help. And we don't necessarily reach out. We try to be these super women that we don't necessarily have to be. And there's a community of us to help each other through the things that single moms go through. So I commend you for starting this, because I tell you, it's widely needed, and it's come at a time when I think there are even more single moms today. It seems like the single moms are increasing year after year after year, unfortunately, because, sometimes the ideal situation is to have 2 parents in the home. But if there aren't 2 parents in the home and a woman has to raise the kids, it's so nice to have a community to help you. And it's so wonderful to have someone who thought of that so that it could make it a lot more acceptable.
Thank you.
You know?
Yes.
So who are the ladies we have here with us today? Let's start with the lady in orange like me.
Yes, I got the memo. My name is Lisa Langlois, and I'm a mom, primarily. I'm an actor, and I'm a philanthropist.
Okay, and what do you do as far as philanthropy?
When I initially started being an actor, the reason I wanted to have fame was not because of personal there's my ride. It's coming. Can someone out there tell them to wait? I've just started to talk about me. And I wanted to be able to lend my name to charitable organizations. And then one day I came to the realization that, no, I don't have to wait for them to come to me. There's a reason in this world that I'm put on a certain path in a journey, and it can be one-to-one when somebody needs help, or it can be this organization. So that's been my mantra in life that no matter who it is, there's a reason that they're in my path. And so I was invited a year ago through the publicist of this organization to go to a Mother's Day event. And it's really the first organization that really spoke to me.
Okay.
And that's how I got involved. And I have a business that I'm starting up. And I think I need to be mentored a bit on it because I've seen a business mentor, but now I think I need to be mentored by this organization, which is what they do. They help people with their businesses, and I'm planning to let the proceeds go to this organization.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yes. and you know, because all like for I used to work for LA Car Guy, and you know, they're very successful dealership that has 13 dealerships, and they give to a lot of organizations. And I remember I worked for the CEO, and I remember saying to him, when you're ready to have that philanthropic manager, I want to be, you know, that I want to be that person. And again, I thought I don't have to wait for that. I can be the architect
of your own
my
destiny.
own destiny,
yes.
and career, and part of that career is being a philanthropic manager. And I remember even Nefertari just telling me recently, you don't have to have money to be a philanthropist. And I was so inspired.
That's very true.
Yeah. She's like, I'm not a philanthropist. I'm like, yes, you are.
Exactly. Sometimes we put definitions next to things that don't need definitions.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
And
I
labels.
And I think as women, sometimes we wait for what we think is the opportunity or the guidance or the hand to hold our hand into what is our destiny. And we don't have to wait for it. We can just make it happen.
We don't have to be Richard Branson
Exactly.
and Virgin Airlines.
No, we can just make it happen.
Or Oprah.
That's right.
Give away all the cars.
Right. And so our next guest.
Hello, my name is Jackie Majors, and I am the CEO of Crystal Stairs. And Crystal Stairs is just about 5 minutes away, and we've been here for 36 years in the community with the mission of improving the lives of families and children.
And you guys do an excellent, excellent job. I love that
thank
organization, so I'm excited that you're here.
Thank you.
And where would the kids be without you?
Well, you know what? They have some strong moms that are supporting them. So, you know, we love to support them and help them, those moms on their journey. But the kids are our passion.
Definitely, definitely. And last but not least.
Thank you. I'm Christina Bant Jenkins, and I am a photographer and a mom, single mom. I think the way I'm a little different is I'm also a special needs mom, so I'm kind of representing both groups there.
Okay.
And I've been a celebrity photographer and a family photographer, and then with my son, I was put into this area of special needs kids photography. And with that, I started a campaign called This is Autism, Life Through the Other Lens.
Mm-hmm.
And it is also Autism Awareness Month. And we talk so much about the issues that do need to be brought to light. But at the end of the day, they're just kids.
Just kids.
They love Thomas the Train and Scooby-Doo and their big brother. And this is autism, those smiling faces. And I just want to remind people they're kids, we're moms.
Yeah.
Let's support our commonalities more than our differences.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
That is
Education.
wonderful.
yeah.
So Nefertari, tell me a little bit about your organization.
Oh my goodness. Well, we were founded 3 years ago, and just with me getting out of my fear of asking people for help and money. Those were two things that I was like, oh my God, how do I start a nonprofit? I have to ask for money?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then so one of the things that I did was I made it not me asking for money, that I'm asking for funds and help on the behalf of the organization and what it stands
Right,
for, which
exactly.
is empowering women and children,
Right.
period. And so when I got me out of the way, it started to take off. And I was able to get a lot of leaders in our organization. So right now we're actually in 5 different cities throughout the U.S. and we're looking to grow, you know, across the nation.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and so we've been doing some amazing work in the community. We recently started our Single Moms Planet Kids tennis camp. We just started that for the spring.
Oh.
And so we do a lot of community events. We also do really fun things for the moms. We do Moms Night Out. We also do financial literacy with New York Life. And we do programs of that nature. And so it's just something that was from my heart, that I knew if my mom would have had something like this when I was growing up, just to give her access to a different experience of life. Right?
Exactly.
To know that she's not alone and remove that story from her life. I felt like, we could have thrived even more. We could have had a different experience of life. And I was like, wow, so my mom is a really big help in this organization with me. She supports me 100%. And so a lot of the things that we do, I look back at what was maybe missing from my mom and I.
Yes.
And I want to add that to the single moms in our organization and also to the kids of the single mothers. And really it's having the community. It's like
Right.
having family. I always had a best friend. I always had somewhere to go. And in the summer, I went to New Orleans for 3 months at a time. Everybody didn't have that.
That's right.
And that's a single mom. Like their kid to go somewhere for 3 months. There's some married couples that want that.
Right.
Can they come with you for 3 months? Great, I'll pack their bags, And so that's really what we're about. It's about building community, building family, and building awareness of there's nothing wrong with it. There's different ways that women become single mothers.
Yes.
Some through death of a spouse, some through divorce, some are single moms by choice.
Yes.
There's quite a few ladies that are in our organization that are in almost that 40 age range, and they're like, I want a baby.
Right.
I haven't found the love of my life. Prince Charming hasn't showed up yet. And hopefully he'll show up after the baby's born, but they wanted to have a child. And I totally get that. We're in a different day and age now, and everyone
Right.
needs that support.
Absolutely. This is great. And for you ladies, being from different walks of life and being a part of this new Single Moms Planet, what are your ideas about, because I know coming from the mortgage industry and being in finance my entire life, it feels like, I know that sometimes, women don't get the right information about their financial situation. And so to have someone who can educate them on financial things is great, because single moms should own a home. Single moms should have all of the same privileges that anyone else has. So from your perspective as a philanthropist and with Crystal Stairs, which is very supportive, and being a photographer and mom yourself, what do you think one of the main reasons women don't reach out for help? What do you think is the main reason they don't reach out for help?
I think it's cultural.
Mm-hmm.
And it even goes beyond just the culture of women. It goes into subcultures of cultures. Like, for example, I know an organization, the Pico Family Youth Group, and they provide counseling for Latino women, and it's very hard to get them to step forward because in their culture, it's you don't do that and you don't step forward. And our overall culture is that we are supposed to be superwomen, and that asking for help is a weakness, where really, if you're asking for help, one of the definitions is as a professional is your limitations.
Right.
And so to be able to identify that, look, if I get help in this area, I can be more effective over here. But we don't. And I think that's what's so great about this organization here is they can take away from that stigma that you can ask for help.
Absolutely.
And I think when you're a single mom, so many of us are sort of thrown into that. We don't plan that at all.
Right.
We
There's
don't
no book that
expect
comes with it.
No. And often maybe you end up in a situation you need to get divorced or you're separated. A lot of women are then forced back into a workplace. They haven't been in the workplace. And you're kind of doing things on survival mode for a while.
Right.
And you don't quite think you're good enough. I know that was my thing. You don't I don't want to call a financial advisor because I don't have any money. So.
You don't have any money. And
Yeah.
But the thing
But
is,
that's when you need a financial
Right.
advisor the most to help you get through that period of trying to sort things out and budget. And, budget is the biggest deal of all, is
Yeah.
trying to create a budget, stick to that budget, having that safety net of having that emergency fund. Is there money available for that?
And maybe get out of that survival mode and
Right.
actually plan and look forward to a future.
well, in
Yes.
any other area, if somebody gets in a catastrophic accident or they become a senior, there are social workers
Right.
for those things to help people to let them know what kind of resources out there. And wouldn't it be great if we could have social workers for single mothers or single parents?
Oh, never
right
sure
now,
it's gonna happen.
I'm seeing it as Single Moms Planet.
Yes.
But wouldn't it be great? Because it would also take the people that are embarrassed, they could go to those social workers. But we really do, because we don't learn what our resources are in school, and we don't learn how to balance checkbooks and
Right.
you know, thankfully I took 2 years of accounting and one year of economics, but we're not taught those things in school.
No, we're not.
And
Don't
would-
you guys have a program like that? for Crystal
Absolutely.
Stairs?
And I
Yeah.
would just love to also speak from the low-income family perspective.
Yes.
It's cultural. I think you're right. And we talked a little bit earlier about also the superwoman complex, right? I
Yes,
mean, I think
definitely.
as a young lady who was born and raised here by a mother, not a single mother, and I will have to say, I am not a single mother.
Right.
But motherhood is hard. But I also think we're raised with this sense of being able to be empowered and being these women that can sort of handle everything. And when you're in the situation where you're a low-income family, you don't have those resources. You know, I was
Right.
sharing with Nefertari the other day. I have a daughter that's in high school, and so I'm talking to my girlfriends about, well, what SAT prep class did you do, and what that doesn't happen as much in the low-income community in terms of that access.
Right.
And so one of the really important things about Crystal Stairs is we try to make sure that families have access. We were founded by 2 working mothers that understood the importance of access and affordability to early care and education. And if mothers who are going to go to work and going to school to improve the quality of lives for their family, they have to have somewhere for their children to go to school.
Right.
I also want to just say one
Safe.
thing that's really important is that a lot of times our families, our mothers, and Crystal Stairs supports about 40,000 families a year. About 75% of them are single parents.
Right.
That's an incredible statistic. And
It
this
really
This is LA County. And they want to go, they're contributors. You know, these are not families, these are not mothers that are sitting at home getting cash aid.
Right.
These are parents that are going to work. They have to in order to
That's
get our
right.
support. And they really want to make these contributions. And so that's one of the things we do is provide sort of that access to information, because information is power.
That's right.
And provide that support, not help.
But support.
Not a crutch, but that support,
Right.
so they can ascend this metaphoric staircase of life and improve the quality of life for their family and in the poverty cycle for their children.
That's wonderful. And Nefertari, what different aspects of Single Moms Planet, if I'm saying this right, do you guys cover? Like, what parts do you support?
What parts do we support? Like,
Yes, of the single mom. Yeah, of the single mom's life.
So typically when we first have a single mom come into our organization, we always offer them, we have a 3-month mentorship program. And so I will either coach them personally or will partner them with a mother that is maybe her kids are adults or something like that. And she's able to pair with her for 3 months. And when I coach from a business and economic standpoint of launching a company, you know, helping your business grow. I also coach from a mental standpoint, just because usually, so what happens is a lot of times women are like, oh, my business is not successful. And so by the time we break down what's really going on, it's something about her that she believes that she's not good enough, she's not worthy.
That's right.
She can't ask for, you know, a $2,000 contract from a client. She doesn't, for some reason, she is not keeping her schedule properly. Why is she doing that? How can she do at least 1 to 3 things every day that impact her bottom line for her company, and also have a relationship that's really powerful with her children?
Right.
And
The
so
balance.
it ends up that they want coaching around their business, but it ends up being about cleaning up their life and then getting to the business, which all is parallel with each other.
That's right.
And so that's where we typically start. And then we also have a Power Mom program.
Yes.
And so we do weekly mom power calls. Every week they're free. They're 20 minutes. They're over the phone. We have women calling in from all over the country on Thursdays, Pacific Standard Time at 1:30 p.m. And it's phenomenal because they're able to get coaching. I always bring in like maybe a publicist or an expert in marketing besides myself.
Right.
And they're able to get coached and ask questions. And we had a mom that just wrote a book and she needed an illustrator. There was an illustrator from another state on the phone.
So it's
And they-
becoming a networking also.
It's really amazing. And so I connected them right after we got off the phone, and now they're going to work with each other. And so it's really like, it's something that is so amazing, and I'm so not attached. And what I mean by attached, like I'm so open to it having a breath and a life of its own.
Yes.
That I'm aware of it. It's like it's not really in me, it's outside of me.
Yes.
And so I'm really just going along with the story of Single Moms Planet.
Because you gave birth to
Right.
the idea, but the baby has its own mind and it's going to expand and grow. And we talked about that a lot.
Exactly. And what I noticed is that the moms really they usually want to work for themselves. Like, that's something I discovered just from talking to hundreds of them at this point, is that they usually have like their own ideas and their own concepts, and they want to spend more time with their kids, and they want to travel, and that requires them to be able to have more free time. They don't want to work a 9 to 5.
Right.
They want to make
It's
more
very
money.
restricting.
You know, they may have had a college education, but they're only making $15 an hour. That's not what they
Right.
saw for themselves when they were 7 years old.
Exactly.
You know, and so it's like repainting that fairy tale and not giving up on whatever their dream is. And so I'm a little bit more rigorous. Like, I'll hold your hand, but I'm going to come at you.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to let you just kind of sugarcoat me or paint me a fluffy picture, because I know what's really going on. And so I get a really good response from that. And it's just who I am. And I see the greatness in everyone, and I pull that out. I'm like, this is your greatness.
That's right.
I can't make you be great, but I'm going to only see you as great. And so when you come at me with anything less than that, I'm not going to buy it. You know, and so it's really a powerful, powerful mechanism in a program, in a community, and it's just amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I love this. And so, ladies, okay, so you have a Mother's Day event coming up,
We do.
and I want to hear a little bit about that. So, what's going on? When is the Mother's Day event, and what are you doing?
Wow. This is our 3rd annual Single Mom Awards.
Okay.
And every year we honor anywhere between 8 to 10 amazing women and organizations. And that's
Okay.
actually why we're honoring Crystal Stairs and Jackie.
Yes.
So
It's
excited.
because of what they do in the community to help single mothers and
Yes.
children. And it's really powerful. She's been on our radar for over a year and a half now. She didn't know that.
I didn't. But it's so exciting.
And they really stand for who we are, which
Yes.
is helping women go to school,
Yes.
have a job. Because I totally get it. After I had my 2 kids and my divorce was finalized and I didn't have 2 incomes in the household, I was like, whoa, how do I mean, it's like if I go to work and then I'm paying a daycare, how is this making sense?
Right.
I'm making $5 a day.
Right.
Yeah, tough decisions to make for all of them.
Exactly.
And I'm not with my kids.
Yes.
Okay, so this is not making any sense, right? And so Crystal Stairs is amazing. Jackie is amazing. She's such a stand for the community and for women. And I just really appreciate her being a part of what we do and looking forward to
Yes.
working with her in the future.
Yes.
And then the other amazing women that we're honoring, they're from businesswomen who started with $5 in their pocket. 5 years later, their companies are worth $20 million. And so it's kind of like those types of situations. And we have really amazing actresses. We actually, Maite Garcia, who was married to Prince, she's
Yes.
actually one of our honorees. Unfortunately, he passed away recently, which everybody has been talking about that in the media right now.
Right.
And so we're lifting her up in prayer, but she's one
Definitely.
of our honorees as well. And so it's just really acknowledgement. And so what I noticed is that until I became a mom, I didn't even know that my mom needed acknowledgement.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, you went through all this? You know what I'm
And
like?
you're still standing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
The
And then-
endurance.
Right.
and she's now loving on my kids, right? So it's like generational love, generational being a stand for me, and just being selfless. And that's what I see, like moms as a whole, we're so selfless that a lot of times
Yeah.
we don't even acknowledge ourselves, let alone someone else acknowledging us. And so the platform is so awesome. Like when we did our first award show, I didn't even know what to expect, to be honest, because it was like people usually get honored for corporate stuff, right?
Right.
You got a badge for doing saving the president or something like
Right.
that, right? But what if you were honored for being a mom?
Yes.
And your
Yeah.
and your kids could see you being honored for being a mom.
Yes.
And your husband or your ex-husband. I've had ex-husbands that come there, boyfriends come there, you know, to see you being acknowledged for being a mom and
Because
being
it's an
a
important
stand.
job. Yes.
It is the most important
It's-
job
yes.
because what mom does today is going to dictate where we are 20 years from now.
That's right. They say the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And it's so true.
It's so true. And so it's just amazing. It's one of those heartfelt situations where it becomes a family affair. people don't want to leave. Like, we have to tell
Have to put 'em out.
They're going to charge us another $500. You got to go.
Stand outside and talk.
And so it takes on a life of its own. But this year we're doing it at the Peninsula in Beverly Hills. It's Friday, May the 6th. It's going to start at 1 o'clock is the red carpet. 2 o'clock is the award show. The award shows, the theme is going to be the Peninsula High Tea, which we're really excited about. And we typically will have really awesome celebrities that come out and support, athletes come out and support. The media is usually very present there for us. And it's just a great experience. We have some really great gift bags that are going to be there as well.
That's
we have tons
wonderful.
of good stuff in our gift bags. Awesome. So yeah, we're excited. I'm excited about it because it's making sense. Right? So, I'm a creator, and for all my creators out there, you want to create and then nobody gets it. Right? You're like, okay, that didn't work out.
But this is a creation that makes sense.
That makes sense. And it makes sense to more than just myself.
Right.
And so I just love it. And I have women that have been nominating themselves. I have kids that call in and say, I want my mom to be the mom of the year. It's so sweet. It makes me want to cry thinking about it.
Right.
That, the teenager, I was recently on a talk show for teens, and they were just like, we want to have you back. And the kids were really receptive to their moms being acknowledged, and just hearing mom's point of view coming from me. Because typically, if mom's giving it to you, you're zoning it out.
Right.
You're like, I don't know what mom's talking about. But I'm talking to them not from mom's side or their side, but just like from what's really so.
Right.
What's really happening. How do you love mom? Just let her know you care. Acknowledge her. Tell her good morning when you see her. How was your day? Just the little things.
Right.
You don't have to go out and buy her, when I turn 25, I'm going to get my mom a Mercedes-Benz and a house. All that's great, but right now,
Could you just give her a
mom just
hug?
got finished crying, and you don't even
And you
know
don't
it.
even know.
You don't even know.
You don't even know it. Like,
Yes.
she needs a hug. She needs, can you pour her some coffee and bring it to her? Whoa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think too, if you have a friend that's a single mom, I have so many friends that are married. My family's all married. I was like the lone single mom, and we're sitting at
Yes.
home alone so often.
Oh.
And I've joked often, there's two parents for a reason, because we either need to vent or we need to lean on somebody, or somebody crack a joke in that really tough moment.
Right.
So if you know a single mom, call her up one night and say, how you doing? Or, hey, I heard this at the water cooler today, because we don't get that often.
Yeah, the isolation is hard.
Yeah.
I found
That's
that
very true.
when I split up with my ex-husband that, I belonged to a group of people, and they did babysitting exchanges and everything else, and then suddenly nobody talked to me.
Yeah.
I just wasn't part of all the couples. I was
Yeah.
a single
Because they don't know
mom.
what to do with you.
Right.
Right?
You're
Yeah.
always like the third wheel, fifth wheel.
You're the third wheel. Yeah, you don't fit in. For them.
For them.
We
right.
feel like we fit in, but we don't have the chemistry anymore that I guess they want.
It's true. And a lot of times, if you were close to your ex's family, they stop calling you too. It's like,
Because they don't know what to do with it.
they don't know what
the
to
situation.
do with you. They're like,
yeah.
do I take his side? Am I taking her side?
Yeah, they don't know who they're adopting.
They don't know what's going on. So it's, if you have a single mom friend, call her, take her kid for ice cream for an hour. She doesn't even have to have anything to do. Tell her to go take a nap.
Exactly.
I mean,
Or sometimes
yeah.
just that, hey,
right? Yeah.
this is what's going on in my life, what's going on in yours. That simple act of a phone call or a gesture, can mean the world too.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely right.
So sometimes what's hard for me is I can't keep up with the events at my son's school. For example, last night they had a seminar with some psychologists about teenage dating and safe dating. And I just was exhausted, so I called another parent afterwards, and this is what it's like. And I said, "Did you go?" And she said, "No, I didn't even know what was going on." And then about the SATs, we do get these notices, but by the time you work all day and you come and make dinner, it would be so great if your spouse would make dinner, so you could go, or you make dinner and your spouse can go. So I found that to be the biggest challenge, and I only had one child, special needs as well. So that's what I find the biggest challenge is to keep up with all the information that you have to for your kids.
And it's information overload anyway.
Yes.
Anyway,
I am a
that's
happily
true.
married woman, and we are strangers in the night trying to
Right.
get to all the activities. But I think one of the things that I can say is from low-income families to higher-income families, single-parent homes, dual working, family homes. The challenges right now are so much more than they were when I was a young person growing up here in LA. And what we want for our children is very similar. In terms of their access to information, even talking about financial literacy and wanting our children, what do we all want? We want our children to be better off than we were. Even if we had good childhoods, we want them to exceed, the things that we've done. So it's hard for the married women out there. It's challenging, but I can imagine just the burdens and the challenges and just the time constraints, and certainly the isolation. So I'll be calling all my single mom friends when I leave here.
Exactly.
And also, this is the first generation where both parents have to work to make a living.
Absolutely.
And I can recall, not my brothers, but because I was so little, I would be taken on by, because my mother had to work full time, there was no daycare in those days, by my mother's sisters, because they all stayed at home, because that was the generation where just the husband worked. And so, you can't afford daycare, and then everybody's working. So that even if you do have family here, so that's the big challenge for the single moms too. Is it, like you said, how do you pay for daycare in a country that doesn't subsidize the government? I mean, if we had a political action group, perhaps too, as single moms, where we say, you know what, like, we're the only industrialized nation in the Western world that doesn't provide child care, and we know all those countries can't be wrong that are providing it.
That's right.
And it's something that the advocacy groups, and Crystal Stairs has a large advocacy groups of parents, mostly single moms, that we take to Sacramento to talk about these issues. Because again, it's an issue that is very broad.
That's right.
And we go up there and we talk really about not only the challenges of being a mother and a single mother, but the importance of early care and education and brain development with children under 3. And the importance of that work and really what it does. When we look at our workforce in 20 years, I mean, there's some big concerns about, are these children that will be our government and our workers and our scientists, will there be a strong pool of really educated, empowered people, a lot, with single mother head of households, and what we can do as a state and as a country, as a nation, to really support those children now?
That brings up a great question, because, being a single mom myself, and working my way through the education system with both of my children, I found that to be very challenging. So I can only imagine, if you have a child with special needs, the additional information that's required. And I think that as a country, as a state, and as a city, we could do a lot better, because for me, it's always been, an exercise. I'd say, why don't we as Americans want our children to achieve greatness? And if we do, why don't we support that? Why don't we support it with our finances? Why don't we support it with our schools? Why don't we support our single moms? Why don't we support our families in general? Has always been my question, because the stronger the family, whether it's one parent or two, the better off the kids are.
Absolutely.
And the better off the children are growing up, the better adults they will be.
And the better our communities
And the
are.
better our communities will
and
be.
supporting each other, because kids with special needs are going to be in our community.
That's right.
In 20 years.
That's right.
And we can either help them and support them become contributing members of society, or we will be supporting them.
That's absolutely
So
right.
it's very important. To
Right. I think we have a panel here that can change the world. What do you think?
I think so too.
Power women.
I love it.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that happens when women get together. We don't just talk about changing things. We can support each other and change things, because I know with my group of friends, when we get together and we start talking about things, it's like, wait a minute, if you do this, then I can do that. And if I do this, then you can do that. And it becomes a community. So again, I want to applaud you for starting this, because it's just something that's needed. And it's right on time. How, if someone wants to contribute to you financially, not to you personally, but to your organization, because she said I had a hard time asking for money at first until I separated it from myself, and it's the organization that can use the support. So what can we do to support you in
Visit
your
our
organization?
websites So our website is singlemomsplanet.com.
Okay.
And there's a nice red donate button on there, so you won't miss it. And we love donations.
Of course.
The donations go directly back into the community, from helping moms with a bill that she just can't afford to pay, to helping moms go to a class that they want to take, to getting mentors for the moms. So it's really hands-on. We do fit clubs and activities for the kids. And I mean, I'm just elated with everyone that trusts me with their donation dollars to disperse them properly. It's a privilege to be able to serve the community, to be able to honor these amazing women and the other moms that are not here today.
Exactly.
I just feel blessed, and I'm happy to be on the show today. Thank you so
Well,
much.
I was, we talked, and I told
Yes.
you, I was excited about this. I've taught financial literacy for the last 5 years to single moms who were homeless with their children. And what I noticed from teaching those classes that I think we talked about this is that there's a bridge between all women, no matter what their economic level.
True.
There's a bridge, and it's, their family and children first. There are always health concerns. We want to make sure we're the healthiest we can be to be good parents, and also financial concerns.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is the component about counseling that you mentioned, so to be, not only physically there for your children, but also mentally and financially, everyone, no matter what economic level they're on, everyone wants the same thing. I was talking to a lady last week. She's going to be a guest on the show, and she's a designer, designs high-end, handbags. And she has the same conversation. So no matter what the economic level, women universally want the same things. They want to be able to provide for their children, have good education, exposure to the better things, of life for their children. So I think your movement as the Single Moms Planet is one that is going to just skyrocket. I was telling you, you're gonna have to stand back, one day and look at this large, star in the sky that you have created, because it's definitely something that's needed.
Absolutely.
And it's not just for the single moms, but it's for the married moms who can support the single
Absolutely. That's
moms
right.
and give them a call
And the
every once in a
dads,
while
yeah.
and say,
And
hey,
dads, too.
dads,
and the
Mhm.
dads, because there's single dads out there too who need to be supported and applauded.
Very
Absolutely.
The cool thing I've found with Single Moms Planet, I've just loved being part of this group and this group of women. As moms, we're caring and nurturing and supported by nature. That's part of who we are. And
Yes.
now we're not only that to our kids, but to each other. I've really found that with everybody I've met through Single Moms Planet. It's like now we're all lifting each other up and
Right.
supporting each other, and that it's such a great experience.
Yeah.
We need to do that for everybody.
Exactly.
And I think we could lift each other up too if you get out and vote. Vote for the people that reflect what we want as a society.
I agree.
Because if we did get out and vote, we could have the government and the people representing us to get us to the level we need to get
And
to
not
for this
just
country.
policies or specific issues. Vote on your values and
Right.
your core beliefs.
Yes.
And what you want to stand for and what you want our kids to stand for and our country to stand for.
Because they've
Definitely.
proven if you vote, when your kids get older, they will vote.
Oh, definitely. Both my children, I went with them the first time they voted,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh God!"
Did you
here
take
she goes."
pictures?
I took a picture.
That's how
I was
mommies do
outside
it.
clapping.
And they were like, oh my goodness.
"Right." I was
Mom.
like, "Can I go in the booth?" And the man said, "No."
That's illegal,
So
ma'am.
yes, and so I literally stood outside the outside the booth, and I was like, "Yay! Go, 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 go!" to my son and my daughter, and they both were like, "This lady." That's right. I cheer because you do as a mom. What do? You cheer
Applaud
for and you
everything your
applaud
children
everything
do.
your children do. Absolutely.
Because we've got the
So-
lowest voting rate in any Western nation.
That's amazing.
And this is a right that we have fought for.
fought for, and we need to
we're-
take advantage
and
of.
we're not, it's a privilege that we're not taking advantage that can change our lives. And we have the lowest turnout of any Western nation.
Yeah, and I think to that point, if you raise your children, like you said, and they see you doing things, they will do those things. I remember taking my son to the grocery store with me when he was little, and I'd get the newspaper, and I'd look, and he'd have a little newspaper, and he's looking at it.
Absolutely.
And he's clipping coupons because I clip coupons. He clipped better coupons than I did, after a while. And So we need the support. So sometimes as a single mother, you're so busy on that hamster wheel, you don't realize
That you are your child's primary
You're your
teacher.
di-
You are
yeah.
their first teacher. And,
and
that's
you
so critical.
only have 18 summers.
Yeah.
You have 18 summers to spend as much time with them.
Oh, I just got sad.
Right? And I said that to another woman, and she's coming on my show, and she said, no, you have 18 summers to teach them that you don't just have 18 summers.
That's so true.
You teach them how to be a family. So whether you're a single parent or not, those 18 summers, you're teaching your children how to be a family.
Right.
So I said, when I talk to women, that is a point I'm going to make, is that remember you have 18 summers, because that's usually when they're out of school, and that's when they require the most attention from us, is to teach them all of the value systems in that time that we want them to learn.
And live them yourself.
Yes.
And live them yourself.
And live
so
them
they can
yourselves,
see
yeah.
you.
Teach
Yeah.
by example.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're Lunch with the Finance Bunch. So I want to talk a little bit about finance. As single women, entrepreneurs, and Nefertari, you mentioned this, that there are a lot of single moms who want to own their own businesses. They don't necessarily want to work for someone else, because then they're confined to that 9 to 5 job where they can't see the plays and the recitals and the, go to lunch with your daughter day or whatever they do at school now, right?
Right.
And so how is that encouraged in your organization? I know you spoke a little bit about it, but I wanted to bring that to the forefront, because I think a lot of times we as women, not just single women or single moms, we want to start that business and we want to be an entrepreneur, and we don't really know how to get started. So you touched on that a little bit. So before we want to run out of time, I wanted to bring that up and tell me, how does your organization support that effort? I know you said you do a lot of counseling yourself.
Yes.
And do you point them in the direction of people who can help them?
Yes, we do. We actually, the first thing that we typically do when a mom comes to us and they say, hey, I want help launching a business, or I have a concept and I need help with it, we try to I come at them from the point of view of, okay, I know she doesn't have a lot of time. She's a single mom. And we also, we actually have married women in our organization that we've counseled and given this service to. We don't turn anybody away.
Right.
The services are just
It's just a focus.
It's a service.
Right.
Our focus is single mothers.
Right.
But if you come to us and you call us, we would never turn you away from the resources that we have. And so it's really identifying, what do you want to do? How much time do you have to do it? And a lot of times I think there's a fantasy about it's not going to be a balance.
Right.
Okay, that's number one.
Right.
You may have to put your baby to sleep and work for another 3 hours.
Right.
Right? You may have to wake up at 4 a.m.
That's right.
and work those 2 hours before the kids get up.
That's right.
Now, and it's like, don't come to me for a miracle that you're not willing to be a cause in the matter of.
Yeah, you have to demystify
Right.
those
Yes,
expectations,
that's
like
right.
work-life balance. I don't think that's
There's no such thing.
What?
What?
What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on those days when you sleep and you rest and you play with your kid, you do that.
Right.
Do that full out, right?
Yes.
And if at 10 o'clock you need to work for 2 hours, do that. It's just really like Jackie's saying, demystifying the nature of how you get to success. And you can't necessarily compare your success to someone else.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of times it's really knowing what you want to do and then figuring out who in your life can help you do that.
Yes.
Right? So not feeling like you have to do it by yourself.
Yes.
Okay, if you don't know how to build a website, who do you know that does?
Yes.
Or we just had a power call and Lisa was on the call. And Lisa's been wanting to do a website for some years now, and she never did one because it just felt too big. And I was like, who said you need a website? You need a landing page, a
Right.
photo, a bio, who you are, what you do, opt-in email, keep following me. I have great content coming soon.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then as you grow your list and you have people to tell that you have a website to, you build your website as you go.
Right.
But you don't let the website stop you. Like, don't let things stop you. There
That's
was
the
no
point.
website before. People didn't even have a phone.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, there was no cell phones and pagers and internet and all this stuff. A lot of people think like, oh, I have to have all this going on to have success.
And you don't.
You don't. Actually, if you have too much of it and you're not keeping up with it, it's not current, it looks
makes
like
it
you're out of
worse.
business.
It
Yes.
works against you.
It works completely against
Yeah,
you.
so-
You have a Twitter page you haven't tweeted since 1992,
You're out of business.
you're out of business.
That's right.
People think you've died.
That's very
And
true.
what- I've had people that I've coached say, I met someone and they thought I was dead.
Right, because their social
they didn't-
media stopped.
My social media stopped. Your website hasn't been updated for 5 years. Take it down. Seriously.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Update your photos. Like, I go
Right.
with the basics and really, really
I love
know
that.
who you are, what you do, and what you're selling, so
Mhm.
that if you share that with someone, they can share it with 10 other people, and when they get back to you, it's the same thing.
Right.
If you're sharing something that's confusing, everybody's confused, you won't
Yes.
make any money.
And love what
Right.
you do.
So, and love what you do. That's the point. That's the point, is love what you do. I'm going to have you come back on the show. 1 hour isn't nearly enough
You're
time
getting a call back.
to cover all of the things that I want to talk about, about this, movement. And so I want to invite you publicly back to be on the show. And I really want to delve deeper into how we can support women more, how your company works. And then you have your own personal business that we have never gotten to.
True.
Because you do have your own business in addition to running this nonprofit. And ladies, for you to come on and be a part of this movement, it just moves me greatly. And Crystal Stairs I know a lot about. When I first came to the area, that was one of the first supporting organizations that I was told about, because of the daycare component and how you support women of all kinds and their children. So
Wonderful.
when I heard you were coming on the show, I was so excited.
I hear stories like this
Because
every day.
It's a pillar in the community that's definitely needed, and I feel appreciated.
You
Definitely, you're like the celebrity of the moms community.
Yeah.
are. Well, you're our celebrity.
So, I applaud
And
you.
we would also love for you to come do some financial literacy training with some of our moms.
I'd
with
love
Crystal
to.
Stairs.
I
We
would definitely
love
do that. Definitely, that's my heart and soul.
Yeah,
right
wonderful.
there. Yeah, and to our philanthropist who's learned that she doesn't have to have millions of dollars to share her heart and passion. I want to thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on the show. This has been wonderful. I want you to state your name for us. So,
Lisa Langlois.
Lisa Langlois.
And I also, my mother's an
pretty.
honorary this year.
Oh wow, that's great.
Double header.
So for everyone, and our photographer who has a son or daughter,
It's Charlie, my 10-year-old
Charlie.
son. Yeah.
So we're going to do a shout out to Charlie,
He's
your
a little
10-year-old.
famous in his own right on Instagram. So yeah, follow me on Instagram. My
That's
name is
wonderful.
Christina Mant Jenkins, but thank you for having me.
Definitely.
Pleasure.
Thank you guys for all coming. And
you.
before we go, I want to just ask you real quick, how do we support your organization, and when again is your
Event, the award
Event.
show. So you can support our organization by going to our website at singlemomsplanet.com. You can actually join as well. There's a button right next to donate where you can join the organization and get on our mailing list, so you
Perfect.
can find out about our events and our programs and all the wonderful partnerships that we've made, like with Crystal Stairs and the resources that they have, who will share with those with you as well. And you can also, our social media. Please go to our social media. We have lots of great conversations going on there at Single Moms Planet on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Okay.
And then you can also email us if you want to have a private commentary with us,
Conversation.
support at Single Moms Planet. And we'd love to have you at our award show. It's Friday, May 6th. It's at
Yeah.
1 p.m. at the Peninsula in Beverly Hills. You can go onto our website and purchase tickets. You can make a donation if you can't come. And we just love the support. It's all about the kids, and it's all about the moms in the community.
Perfect. This is Miss Charlene. This is Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me.
It's
I told you this
wonderful.
hour was going to go quickly,
It
right?
did. Yeah, it
Thank
did.
you so much.